For all these years, we needed to play second fiddle being part of the fantasy category, but now we have our own category. We are so back. What we are going to be doing today is we are going to be going through all of the nominations in this year's Crunchyroll Anime Awards. And we are going to be filling out our votes for our favorites. And we're going to go in reverse order this year, starting with Best Voice Acting Performance Japanese. Now, the biggest surprise about this, I can't believe that Brave Bang Bravern got one single nomination. I didn't think that anyone watched Brave Bang Bravern, aside from myself and Mother's Basement. This one's so difficult, and I know it doesn't narrow it down, but this is actually between three. Obviously, Mao Mao, just an amazing performance, amazing character throughout. Momo as well, from Dandadan, amazing as well. But I thought Marcel's character was the perfect girl failure. She just embodied the emotional range, and she brought so much life to the Delicious and Dungeon crew. This is hard. This is so hard. My heart is actually saying Marcel, but it's like so close. So close. But before we move on, a quick reminder that this video is actually sponsored by Crunchyroll. Because if you couldn't tell by this video, voting is now open for the 2025 Crunchyroll Anime Awards, and I feel like my prayers have been answered. Because this year, there have been big changes. There is finally an isekai category. It is time, my isekai brothers! Now, whether you joined in last year or this is your first anime awards, you can get involved, and voting couldn't be easier. All you gotta do is go to the voting page by clicking that link in the description, and you can go through all the categories and vote for what your favorites are. And you can submit your votes by logging in either with phone or email. But Gigaka, here you ask, what if I end up placing a vote and then change my mind afterwards? I can't deal with that type of commitment. Don't worry, Crunchyroll has got you covered. You can log back in and vote every single day until voting ends on April 14th. So you can even vote on additional categories or just change your existing votes. Then once you're locked in, it's time for the best part. That's right, downloading your own Anime Awards ballot so you can share it with all your friends on social media with the hashtag Anime Awards. That way, everyone will know about your immaculate taste in anime. So once again, you've only got a few days left to vote, guys. So get your voting in before April 14th, 11:59 p.m. Pacific time. Thank you very much to Crunchyroll for sponsoring this video. And with that said, back to my own votes. Best voice acting performance in English. I'm going to skip this one. Some of my mates are on here. Very much respect their work. I'm going to be honest, didn't actually watch any dubs last year, and I don't feel comfortable voting for any category where I haven't seen anything. Even if I know them personally, I'm trying to be as fair as possible here. Best ending sequence. My fellow anime fans, I'm not going to lie to you. I don't remember a lot of endings. I remember 3 of these endings. I remember Dandadan, because that was Zutomayo, and I'm a big Zutomayo fan. I remember Nobody. This was the One Republic song, and I was like, this is so weird to hear in the modern day. And out of all of these, the one that stuck in my mind the most was definitely Burning from Oshinoko. I prefer both the opening and ending of the first season of Oshinoko, but the second opening and second ending was also pretty damn strong. So we are going for Oshinoko Season 2. Again, I'm not too passionate about endings, but Oshinoko Season 2 was the one that stood out the most for me. Best opening sequence is Dandadan. There were some fantastic opening sequences this year. Obviously, Creepy Nuts got 2 mega hits nominations this year and 2 mega hits that got spread everywhere. Maybe I'm just a normie. Last year, I voted for Oshinoko, so maybe I'm not a special snowflake. Maybe I don't have such a hot take, but I do think Otonoke is a banger song. And not only that, it's the opening sequence along with the song itself. The animation, the vibes, man. And you know what? The only thing that could have competed with this is if I just heard na na demo na 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 na. That is the only opening that came out last year that can compete with the vibes if it was nominated this year. If Orb isn't nominated this year, please judges, put it on next year's. Please. Orb Cope. Orb Cope. I just realized half this stream is probably going to be me crying about Orb. All right. Best score. This is an absolutely stacked category. I just want to put a quick word for my close friend, Kevin Penkin, who I think did such a fantastic job on Spice and Wolf this year. And I think the only reason that he didn't get a nomination is just because this year is so stacked. But Kevin, you get a nomination in my heart. If this was the Gigak Awards, you'd be here. You'd be here, man. Having said that, Solo Leveling did its job perfectly. It got you absolutely hyped. In my opinion, it didn't stand out enough compared to some of Sawano's previous works. Look back, when I did my best of year anime for 2024, I got a lot of comments telling me I shed a tear during this segment, and I'm gonna be honest, this is cheating. It wasn't my fault. It was the absolutely amazing soundtrack from Look Back that just gave it that extra little push. It was an absolutely fantastic soundtrack. Dandadan. The weirdness of Dandadan and Kensuke Ushio's kind of like discography is like the perfect match, and I think it was perfectly represented in Dandadan because Kensuke Ushio can do everything. I swear to God. Friren's soundtrack just hit perfectly though. Out of all of the shows that aired last year, Friren's soundtrack is going to be a soundtrack that a lot of us remember. Even though Dandadan and Look Back have such stellar tracks in them, in this one case, I just think Evan Cole hit it out the park with Frieren. And I think Friren's going to win this one as well. All right. Best anime song. Okay, so this is an opening. And as we all know, I know my beeps and boops. I have very strong opinions on this. And the best beeps and boops is still Otonoke. Don't ask me music questions, man. I don't have many opinions, all right? I'm a normie. I admit it. I have normal opinions. I sometimes go with the popular opinions, okay? I love this song. This is a great song. Okay, let's move on. Must protect at all cost character. Okay, here's an interesting one. Anya has dominated this category. Let's see what the competition is that can defeat Anya this year. Against her, we have Frieren. She does not need protecting. What she needs is a decent sleep schedule and a maid. Okarun, you know, Okarun is a very, very adorable boy. Clearly just very nerdy and very passionate about the things that he likes. The only thing that needs protecting are apparently his goddamn balls. Senshi, again. Senshi is the one protecting everyone else. If this was perfect husband slash wife material, absolute S tier. In terms of needing protecting, well, Tokiyuki, the entire point of Tokiyuki was to protect him, you know. This show was literally, Mr. President, get down, the entire show. But I don't think he needs as much protecting because motherfucker can run. And lastly, my actual vote is probably going to be Yuki. Yuki was absolutely adorable. She's deaf, so a lot of the romance focused around her and a guy who was helping her to deal with her disability, and it was wholesome as hell. She deserves it. This year, I'm not gonna lie, I want to see someone other than Anya win this because she has dominated for too long. But let's be honest, Anya's still gonna win this one. Best supporting character. And really, guys, can we argue with the GOAT? It is right in the name. He is him. And voting for Himmel is something that Himmel, the hero, probably wouldn't have done because he seems like a chill dude who probably wouldn't vote for himself. Or would he? Because he knows he is him. And the only thing he did not win was Friren's heart. But you know, that's a small L. That's a very small L, you know. Himmel takes this one. Best main character. This is a stacked category. I mean, what can you say? Kafka Hibino. For my fellow 30-year-olds, we need more mature character representations in anime. And I am all for this, man. Of course, we have the Ice Queen herself, Frieren. I think what makes Frieren stand out is even though she's kind of based on the Kudere archetype, her backstory and just the being that she is makes perfect sense for why Frieren is the way she is. It's not that she doesn't have any emotions, it's that she is just emotionally distant. It's such a subtle twist, but it's what needed to happen for the evolution of the Kudere character. And Okarun and Momo, it's hard to separate them because I think Dandadan is an example of when one side completes the other side. Without both sides of the coin, I believe you'd feel like something is missing, but both of them together just work so well as a pair of protagonists. And then, of course, we get to Mao Mao, one of the best written main characters in general to come out in such a long time. Frieren, I think. There are so many amazing aspects to that show. There's so many emotional journeys, and the supporting cast is absolutely incredible as well and brings so much to the table, as we've just talked about, people like Himmel, Fern as well. But goddamn, does Mao Mao carry Apothecary Diaries. And I don't say this in a way to diminish the other characters in Apothecary Diaries. It is just that Mao Mao is just that powerful by herself. Apothecary Diaries is Mao Mao. She grabs your attention and she never ever lets go. I must give it to the absolute aura farmer. Mao Mao may be well written and all that, but can she solo an entire army by herself? No. Is Mao Mao an S-tier hunter in disguise? No. So that's... All right, I can continue. Of course, yeah, Mao Mao gets my vote. Best slice of life. This one is also a difficult one, mostly because a lot of these stand out more in other categories. Dangers in My Heart and Too Many Losing Heroines has slice of life aspects to them, but I think their strongest aspect is most definitely romance. Sound Euphonium, I see more as a drama. So to me, I mean, it's gotta be Yuri Camp for like pure comfy slice of life. And I think if there were other nominations that were also pure slice of life, I might need to think a bit more. But in this particular case, it's just gotta be Yuri Camp, which takes us to best drama. What was I saying about Sound Euphonium? I'm very, very happy that Pluto got some representation in here. Both Pluto and Dead Demon's Destruction, absolutely fantastic. Both ended up on my favorite anime of those years when they came out. Frieren, obviously, fantastic drama. Had me the most emotional of everything. But best drama. Few anime can keep my mum's attention. Can actually get her glued to the screen. Apothecary Diaries is just that. My mum marathoned in like a single day just because the drama was just so addicting. Mao Mao was just so powerful and my mum just needed to know what happens next. And I very, very much enjoyed Apothecary Diaries, and seeing other people just get drawn into it made me realize the power of Apothecary Diaries and just how fantastic this show is, not just for anime watchers, but just for people who like well-written characters and well-written dramas. So I think it's got to be Apothecary Diaries. I think it is. Now is our time to rise up, my isekai trashmen. For all these years, we needed to play second fiddle of being part of the fantasy category. But now we have our own category, guys. We have won. We are so back. Looking at these nominations, we have got a very, very hard category to pick. Konosuba, I think that season 3 is just consistently very, very entertaining, and the chemistry between the cast members just continues to get better as more seasons go on. That time I got reincarnated as a Slime season 3. I am a huge Slime fan. This season of Slime, I kind of felt like I just wanted to read the manga more. I think in future seasons, it's going to get back up with that hype. Shangri-La Frontier has been, to me, the ultimate gamer anime. It hits on how to build up stakes in a video game without actually needing to add some kind of like life or death situation in it. It hits on that part of my brain that watches a summoning salt video or something like that, like a speedrun video where you're watching this person trying to achieve something in this video game and you're just seeing someone being a sweaty gamer. And that's it. That is Shangri-La Frontier. It's a great action show. It's just super, super fun. And I definitely think that it deserves a nomination. But I think this category was always going to be between Mushoku Tensei and Re:Zero, which to me are not just the best isekai of last year. These are just my top 2 isekai of all time. I'm going to tell you guys a change in opinion, because before I was the biggest Mushoku Tensei defender. I still think it's an absolutely amazing isekai, and there were parts of Re:Zero that I just didn't vibe with. I didn't fully connect with Natsuki Subaru as a character, and there was a big turning point, and it was meeting the author of Re:Zero himself and just seeing his unbridled energy and enthusiasm. It wasn't like my opinion of Re:Zero must change because now I've met the author. Just the fact that his energy was so infectious, it like made me feel better. And just by meeting him, feeling his aura, feeling his energy, I was like, I get it. I get Natsuki Subaru. I get what he's trying to say with the character. I understand why he's written the way he is and why he has the character arc that he does. Mushoku Tensei and ReZero is the tale of two protagonists. While I think Rudy is, to me, my opinion, a more interesting character just because he is so sometimes uncomfortably realistic. Seeing his character development is a strong word, seeing his progress up and down as a person, as a viewer, is very interesting. But Subaru is the character you want to cheer for, that you respect. No matter how many bad things happen, he stands up and he finds a way to sort himself out. And so it very much comes down to, do I want to pick a character I want to cheer for, or do I want to pick a character I find incredibly interesting? And that's the big thing that I've been debating over in this last year about which one is my favorite isekai. In this particular season, I think seeing Subaru's journey as a knight, not just as some random person that got transported to another world, you can see a lot of the payoff of Subaru's character that has been building up from season 1 and season 2. And Subaru, seeing his moments in the latter half of season 3 was a magical experience. On the opposite end, Mushoku Tensei, the final 2 episodes, had some executions that just left a bitter aftertaste. And I was just like, ooh, okay. For the first time, I wasn't really happy with that. Maybe it needed a few more episodes to really flesh out these major character moments that you guys are presenting me with. So that is why, for this year, ReZero gets the dub from me. That was a very long segment. But yeah, right now, in terms of my favorite isekai, ReZero and Mushoku Tensei are like neck and neck. I love them both for different reasons. And you know what? Mushoku Tensei fan, ReZero fans, can we not just... Come on, guys, come on. Let's not become shonen anime fans, man. Let's just be happy that we have 2 fantastic shows. Best action. Am I allowed to vote on something because I know it's the best, even though I haven't seen it? Because I know from the clips I've seen that Bleach is like the best action for this one. Like, I'm 90% certain, because Solo Leveling fans, remember guys, it's season 1. Solo Leveling did not peak in season 1. It only really had one fantastic fight. Windbreaker, amazing animation, didn't have as much fighting as I thought it was going to have. The only action scene I truly remember in Windbreaker was the one in the first episode. I think the only thing that can really compete consistently is Dandadan. I actually think Dandadan's strongest episodes had nothing to do with action. Having said that, I haven't seen Bleach. I do actually think that my gut feeling tells me that this one is the best. But the critic part of me can't in good conscience vote for something I haven't actually seen. I just gotta go with the thing that I've seen that was the best. Best comedy. To me, this one is between Delicious in Dungeon and Konosuba. Both have absolutely incredible cast, fantastic chemistry between both of them. I think the one that just made me laugh more was probably Konosuba. Delicious Dungeon had so many amazing funny moments in it. It was just all round entertaining. So there were so many amazing parts in Delicious Dungeon. As best comedy, I gotta give it to Konosuba. I enjoyed season 3 a lot. Best romance. I've already talked about Sign of Affection a bit. Makine, too many losing heroines. I very much enjoyed. Makine feels like that self-aware romance show, right? You have someone writing this who is very, very much clearly knowledgeable about the tropes of the genre, but I think played with them without doing something that feels like it's just being meta for the sake of being meta. Overall, it is a very enjoyable show. We didn't really get to see much romance in this. In fact, I would say that the main character felt like more like a best friend, and this one felt more like the drama of what it's like to be that losing girl in a romance show. Blue Box, gotta be honest guys, maybe it's too early, but it just hasn't grabbed me. I haven't really seen anything that has deserved the hype that manga readers have given it, but I will give it the benefit of the doubt. I think it might be a season 1 thing, because I will say everything I said about Blue Box, I think I have said about Dangers in My Heart season 1, and my opinion has vastly changed with Dangers in My Heart season 2. If you are just looking for comfort romance, if you are looking for wholesome romance, this is the peak. I don't think it's going to get better than this. If you watch Dangers in My Heart season 2 and you don't like it, then comfort romance just isn't for you. This was executed so well that I can't think of anything else that deserves best romance over Dangers in My Heart season 2. Do I think it's going to win? Probably going to be Blue Box. I would like it to be the Dangers in My Heart season 2. Best background art. This one's hard because background art is certainly something that doesn't get appreciated enough, which is why I'm very, very happy they have a category just for background art. I think it's got to be Free Ren. There's some scenes in Free Ren that really stood out to me. I just remember like so many moments, like the fucking flower scene and just seeing them travel towards different places. I'll probably vote Free Ren. This isn't as informed a take as other people could probably do, but I'm going to vote Free Ren for that. Best direction. What an absolute stats category. I'm going to keep this fair. I'm not going to vote for Megami Ishitani. In terms of a short film, the 20 minutes in One Piece fan letter was one of the best 20 minutes you could get in the year in terms of animation. The direction was incredible, and I have no complaints about One Piece fan letter. Even though one of my favorite things to come out last year, I think I'm going to go with a series for this one. In terms of these ones, whittling it down to 3, I have to go for Dan Dan, Free Ren, Delicious in Dungeon. What really sold me on Delicious in Dungeon, it presents you with this very comfy cooking show, and then midway through, you see these really, really intense episodes completely switch up the tone, and I think it does it without feeling unnatural at all. Free Ren was, I think, always going to be a fantastic show. Keiichiro Sato's direction just elevated it into a whole new different level. I'm trying to think if it's as strong as the work for Dan Dan. I think out of all of these, I think the singular best episode that aired last year was episode 7 of Dan Dan. I don't think that Dan Dan could have asked for a better studio and a better adaptation to really showcase the weird energy and its own unique style and its own unique energy that Dan Dan does have. And it wasn't just Dan Dan had one fantastic episode. Dan Dan had several fantastic episodes. But so did Free Ren. It's really a toss-up. But I'll give a vote for Keiichiro Sato. Everything he seems to touch turns into gold. I'm going to go with him for this one. Best character design. I think for this one, Delicious in Dungeon. Every one of these characters in Delicious in Dungeon has such a unique aura. And I think Trigger are just goated in character designs. The only thing that I think really competes is Dan Dan. To me, I gotta go with Delicious in Dungeon for this one. These two are the top runners. I am not going to be sad at all if Dan Dan wins this one. I think Delicious in Dungeon just has such unique characters, so many different characters of so many different races, so many different backgrounds, more opportunity to flex how great the character designs are. We are getting to the end of it. Best animation. Again, this is going to go down to Delicious in Dungeon, Dan Dan, and Free Ren. 3 shows that I've talked about a lot, and it's 3 shows that have cropped up a lot. All deserving of it, but I think in terms of pure consistently and delivering some absolutely fantastic animation, I think it's Free Ren. Free Ren is not an action show. It does not need this much stellar animation. You have like the dance scene as well. Not all just action scenes. It's just fantastic throughout. Free Ren gets best animation. Best original anime. I think there is a clear winner here, and it is Girls Band Cry. I had a lot of hype for Metallic Rouge. Unfortunately, it just didn't deliver what I thought it was going to deliver. Same thing with Jellyfish Can't Swim in the Night. If this was the first 6 episodes, I think that I would have given the vote to Jellyfish Can't Swim in the Night. I absolutely loved the first half of this, but the show that got stronger and stronger as it went on was Girls Band Cry. Absolutely a surprise for me. I have got to give my vote for Girls Band Cry, not as what you might think, an idol fan. This is not an idol anime, like I've said many, many times before. This is a band anime, and that is totally different. All this is me appreciating a well-written anime with well-written characters, and it's just a very interesting drama that just happens to have girls playing music. Getting up to the end, we have Best New Series, which to me, my favorite was Free Ren. Out of all of these, this is just anime of the year contenders right here. I've already done an end of year anime best of video, and Free Ren was the best continuing series. Very normally the One Piece award, but I don't watch the One Piece anime. It's not going to be getting my vote. I also haven't seen Bleach, as I've already said, even though I think from what everyone is saying, this season of Bleach definitely popped off. This one's a close one, huh? Do you know what surprised me the most last year? That I came back on the My Hero Academia train. We have been clowned on for too long. I have done some of the clowning, but you know what? I gotta give respect when respect is due, and My Hero Academia Season 7 absolutely popped off. We are seeing the culmination of so many characters, so many storylines, and it was a treat to see. And you know what? It's getting my vote. 100% serious. Season 7 popped off. I really, really enjoyed Season 7. Film of the year. I mean, it's Look Back. This wasn't just my favorite anime film. This was, if you've seen my video, my favorite anime of the last year. If you have a single creative bone in your body, then it's gotta be Look Back as the winner. There was never really any competition for me. Look Back was my favorite film of last year, and my favorite film for a very, very long time. Absolute cinema. All I'm hoping for is that we also get a Goodbye Eri adaptation as well. Which brings us to anime of the year. What could it possibly be? The absolute big one. I am trying to build up the hype, build up the anticipation, and I'm failing because this is literally the same as... Yeah, literally the same as Best New Series, which I already voted on. I can't even like build up the hype and the secrecy because there is a literal identical category here, man. Yes, Free Ren was the best anime of the year. The only reason Free Ren didn't win, in my personal best of year anime, was because it was airing in the same year as Vinland Saga Season 2. That was the only thing that even made me think there could be a better anime than Free Ren. So Free Ren takes my anime of the year, and I think it's deserved, and I think it's going to win it as well. And so, that was it, guys. That was all of my vote for this year's Crunchyroll Anime Awards, guys. I'm actually very, very happy with the nominations for this year's Anime Awards. I don't say this every year. The only thing I really wanted to add would have been Kevin's work on Spice and Wolf in Best OST. And, of course, Orb. I'm really, really hoping that it is more of a technicality than anything else, because if Orb could have been nominated and wasn't, I think that is a massive personal tragedy, because Orb is right up there with Vinland Saga Season 2. This year, I'm happy to announce that I am going to be a part of the Anime Awards, guys. You can check me out on the Anime Awards in late May. I will be a presenter for the pre-show. But that's been it from me for today. I've been Giguk, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.